I appreciate your support of false claims legislation. I'm proud to be a prime sponsor of that bill here in the Senate. Appreciate that very much. And also appreciate...
I did not mean you any disrespect by mentioning Representative Grove, not yourself.
None taken, but do appreciate that support. And I also appreciate your response in the line of questioning with the gentleman from Allegheny County with regard to settlements, those dollars, and the role of the General Assembly in appropriating those dollars. I think it is good to know that you believe the General Assembly plays an important role in allocating those dollars. I appreciate that.
Critically, yep.
So over the last 4 years, your office has been very vocal in suing the previous president and his administration. Can you articulate for me how many lawsuits the Pennsylvania Attorney General's office filed against the previous administration, the cost to the state, and where those various lawsuits currently stand?
Sure. Generally speaking, I should note for the record that I sued the former president far less than most of my Democratic Attorney General colleagues from across the country. I went to court when I felt that it was necessary to protect the rights and legal interests of the people of Pennsylvania. And I did not go to court when I felt that those rights were not at jeopardy, but I might have a difference of opinion. My opinion doesn't matter in terms of my policy preference. What matters is whether or not a law was being violated. My job as the chief law enforcement legal officer of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is to protect your rights. So for example, if you have an Article 1, Section 27 right to clean air and pure water, and the federal government is doing something to undermine that right, well, I took an oath of office to protect the people of Pennsylvania, and so whether it's a corporation or the federal government that's undermining that right, I'm going to hold them accountable.
And General, I truly appreciate that and understand. I'm just seeking to understand how many lawsuits have been filed, what the cost to the Commonwealth, what was incurred, and where those various cases stand in the process.
Right. I was getting to that point.
Thank you.
We did not hire outside counsel for any of those lawsuits. All of the work was done by staff attorneys who are paid an annual salary, and they come from all different parts of our office. So it's impossible to quantify a particular number. In terms of the specific number of lawsuits, Senator, I'll get back to you on that. I don't have the specific number off the top of my head. And then finally, in terms of the status of each of those lawsuits, it depends, okay? Some of them are still going through a court proceeding. Others either have been or are likely to be rendered moot because of a superseding rule or executive action that the current president, President Biden, has taken or may take. If you're looking for a total number and the status of each of those, we'd be happy to get back to you on that. But they're all in different points of the procedural posture, just given the fact that each case is different and the circumstances surrounding each one is different.
I would appreciate that, and I think it would be very helpful, particularly when we're looking at a discrepancy in terms of the number of dollars that the governor asked to appropriate to your department versus what you have asked. I think that would be helpful. And also, when you respond, to date, it would be interesting to know how many lawsuits have been filed against the current administration. And I think that would be very helpful, and I would appreciate it. If I could, a couple of questions.
Before you move on, I would just respectfully suggest that the difference between what the governor has requested for our budget and what I am requesting in this cost to carry budget has absolutely nothing to do with those lawsuits. And those lawsuits don't impact the bottom line of our budget. As I indicated to you, I've not gone outside and hired outside counsel. I've not incurred additional costs. All I've done is use the lawyers who exist in our operation to defend your legal rights and the rights of all Pennsylvanians. And I've done so pretty darn successfully.
With regard to some television commercials that you appeared in, received many inquiries from constituents. In November of 2020, you were in a number of television ads with regard to the election. Can you share with us how the costs of those ads were covered? Who paid for those ads?
Senator, I have no idea what you're talking about. I ran for re-election in November. Obviously, I was successful. That's why I'm here before you today, and that was funded through my
General,
campaign.
and congratulations on that. But these commercials were after the November 2020 election, and they were television ads about the election. These were not election related to your particular campaign.
Okay, well, I don't know that I know what you're referring to. I'm more than happy to learn more about it and provide you with whatever answers that you're looking for.
Very good. We will certainly follow up, and hopefully you will be able to remember making those ads, obviously, as well as to be able to tell us if, in fact, the taxpayer dollars or non-taxpayer dollars were utilized for those ads.
Would appreciate are you referring your line of questioning? I don't appreciate the tone of it, but are you referring to the ads that were run after the polls closed about the waiting on the results? I think I was in an ad, the governor, maybe others were. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I believe they were post-election ads, and it had to do with your thoughts on the election.
Okay. There was an ad run after the election was over about counting all of the ballots. If that's what you're referring to, that was not done with taxpayer dollars at all. I can assure you that zero tax dollars went to that.
Yes, and noted they didn't have the paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars little moniker that's required by Act 90 of 2015. So can you tell us how those ads were paid for?
Let's wrap this up, please.
Yeah, I'm sure I can find out, and we'll be happy to provide that in writing to the committee.
I would appreciate it. And if you could also include if they solicited you or you solicited them, and where those dollars will be accounted for, whether they're going to be in statement of financial interests or somewhere else. Would very much appreciate it. Thank you, Attorney General. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Senator. Senator